Hey everybody, welcome back to the Joe Rockstar channel. In the last video from Lake Havasu, I talked about the racers of the 40C class. You know, about how we look more like we should be in a bowling league than racing dirt bikes. So I took some time to go around and I asked the guys, why do you take such a risk racing dirt bikes at our age, when the only reward is a plastic trophy?
Because it's f***ing fun, man. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I gotta have fun somehow.
Oh man, it's fun. The riding's fun. Mostly it's for the family aspect.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm looking forward to racing you tomorrow.
I don't race for the plastic trophy.
Yes!
Actually, I forgot my trophy last race. I race because I enjoy it.
You enjoy it, right?
I love it, yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, it's an activity we do together. Fun.
Nice. And what's your excuse? Midlife crisis. That's me too, right? Right on, guys. Good luck out there. I know I'll see you guys roosting me at some point.
You're trying to stay young, man. Honestly, you started off just supporting Dominic. Like, he wants to ride with him, you know? It was, I got addicted to it. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Lifelong dream and the camaraderie of the guys. Nothing better than being out here with my buddies racing every Sunday.
Right on, dude.
Lifelong dream realized, buddy.
Yes. Woo!
Because it's something that you can improve on and enjoy. It's meaningful, but not expedient.
It all sums up to you're not here for that plastic trophy.
No.
That's not what anybody's here for.
Yeah,
You'd like to win.
We're in there.
You'd like to win, but that's not why you do it.
No.
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 And I think that's what the common thread
when
is.
you remember that, it's more fun.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just telling Nick, you know what the common thread is? Nobody says for that plastic trophy.
No.
No. We're all out here for our reasons.
It's all about fun.
Have a good time, man. Good luck to you.
We're back in Arizona Cycle Park in Buckeye, Arizona for the 5th round of the 2019 Arizona Off-Road State Championship Series. It's the first race of 2019. New year, new me. Honestly, I hate that saying. It should be, same old me, just better results.
Reddit's gonna lead the way. Fire rains and hurricanes. Black dog is rampant on. Ash streams overflowing. And I've seen it all. Memphis at midnight. When John sold his soul. Down at the crossroads. The universe is gone. Two roses in Texas. Nap in the cold. It's simply at sunrise.
Finally won a race. It's getting dark and I gotta hurry up and get this bike cleaned up. Look at that. What a mess, right? That's horrible. Anyways, I gotta clean it and then we're gonna talk a little bit about what happens next.
I finally managed to get on the podium, and what's more, I finished first out of 15 racers. Of course, it's a hypothetical podium because Amra doesn't waste time putting old fat C racers on an actual podium.
Hey, as soon as the scrubs get off the podium, I'll get up there and I'll take my position. I was just kidding.
So I'll have to wait for the next race when I'll dig through the box that sits at registration. A box that's full of unclaimed plastic trophies from races past, and I'll see if I can find mine. I'll take a picture with it, maybe say something edgy or clever, and then I'll bring it home and put it on the wall in my office at work. Interestingly, in 3 years and 21 races, I haven't finished a race any better than 4th since I started racing. And that only happened twice. So what made the difference this time? Well, it all starts with practice. Several months ago, I did a training session with Ryan Wells and his company, AZ Dirt Bike Training. Ryan is an excellent teacher. His style and attention to each rider made the training easy to understand. The focus of this training was turns, and after a long day of slow progress, something clicked, and I've been improving ever since. Unfortunately, I couldn't continue training with Ryan on a regular basis, but knowing that turning efficiently and fast is the key to any race, I took what I learned and I developed some drills of my own to practice at a nearby facility. Nothing beats having someone like Ryan to coach you along, but sometimes we have to make do. Next, I had to get some seat time when it comes to motocross. In the last race at Lake Havasu, I found myself unprepared for the motocross style course. And knowing ACP is very similar, Chris Bouchard and I, plus a small group of friends from Southern Arizona, went to ACP a couple of weeks before the race to practice on the motocross tracks. We spent a lot of time practicing turns and working up the nerve to hit the bigger jumps that we had rolled or came up short on in previous years. We also had a chance to practice the race course some more the day before the race. After all that practice, the evening before the race, I felt very confident. And then, the rain came. Just like round 2 in Globe, in the morning, the race course was a muddy swamp. I felt like all the practice we did was wasted because the track would be so different. Turns out, the practice is exactly what made the muddy track easier to handle. I lined up on the start line next to my old friend and rival Chris Bouchard.
Alright, so it looks like it's party time.
It seemed natural that this race would start with a battle between me and Chris, and it would end the same way.
Alright.
I had a decent start with the Husky, but Chris got the whole shot, which wasn't too bad being in second, except all the mud flying in my face. After 2 turns, I could barely see out of my goggles. I was going to have to make a move, and I was going to have to make it soon. It's pretty cool that Chris gave us his GoPro footage so we can make this video. Without it, this first lap would be pretty boring.
Planning my next move, so sit and enjoy the show. Come on, go. The only thing I got, I know, this moment right here. Time shows as every minute goes.
And the best part about Chris loaning me his footage is we get to see what I look like from behind.
That's just how it goes. I feel alive.
Now I gotta tell you, I'm trying everything I can to shake Chris, but this guy is persistent. The mud had me pretty worried about traction, and I was afraid to hit some of these jumps. I was gonna have to risk it if I wanted to get some breathing room.
And I'm missing on your gift and the life that you live. Come on.
Did I mention that Chris is persistent? To his credit, no matter how much of a gap I'd get on him, he'd close it right back up again.
Time shows as every minute goes. Yeah.
And in true Rockstar fashion, I dropped my bike and gave the lead away. Now, in case you didn't know, the 2018 Husqvarna FX350 comes with traction control, a feature that sounded really good when I bought it. Now, I gotta tell you, under normal riding conditions, I really don't know if it's helping or not, but I can tell you in the sand, it's a straight up liability. If you didn't already know, don't use traction control in the sand. Speaking of sand, I'm so glad that I've practiced and gotten so much better at sand whoops. Or maybe not. I don't know what that was. It certainly wasn't pretty, and it could have been worse, but at least I didn't fall. Now I gotta tell you, about 3/4 through the first lap, I thought all was lost. I'd completely lost sight of Chris. I had no idea what place I was in, but what actually got me motivated were the little battles here and there that I had with other riders, like this one. By the end of the first lap, I was actually starting to feel really confident again. From here on, my focus was to do each section the best that I could, to find the best lines, and to hit my marks for the rest of the race. Deep into the race, into the 5th lap, I started to realize something about this race. There was a grind to it, just like every other race, But it wasn't like other races in that I didn't have arm pump. I wasn't really that tired. And man, I was having a great time. I didn't feel like I was competing. I felt like I was just out there to do my best and have a good time. That all ended when I caught sight of Jasper Simmons. It looked like the grind was getting to him, and maybe he was trying to take a break, but I wasn't about to let him get any rest. I was going to give him something to chase. See if we can't really make him tired. Yeah, sure. He caught up with me, and he passed me again. But I can tell you, I was pretty sure that he had to use a lot of his energy up doing it. And I just lit a fire under his butt that was going to make him have to keep up a pace that he just couldn't maintain. This time the pass on Jasper would stick. And now it was time to set my sights on something a little further ahead. Well, what do we have here? If it ain't our old friend Chris Bouchard. Remember him? Up ahead of me in first place, Chris was having his own struggles in the sand. Chris had been in the lead for the whole race, but the grind was starting to get to him. But sometimes all it takes is a little push from a rival to put some wind back in those sails. Once again, Chris would win a battle, but this time, I would win the war.
Worst place to crash.
At the time, I didn't realize that Chris had gone down in that mud bog. And when I found out, it was a real disappointment, because it cheated us out of what was bound to be a spectacular last lap battle.
Braving truth, and there we are. Feel so hot, then burning, burning. It's a race for the wizard of time.
I also was unaware of just how far ahead I was, and that there was no one left in the 40C class to battle. I was in first place, and this last lap could have just been a parade lap.
Hey! I am the priest in fables. I'm on the forceful god hell. I am a beast, learning morals. I am the sturdy of faith that brings down a rifle the innocent. I'm on the walls of the dance of
At this point in the race, I knew I was doing well. I didn't know how well, but I knew it was going good, and I was really having a great time. In fact, I don't even remember a race being this fun, except maybe the ISDE qualifier last year. In the end, I was very happy to see that I had won the race, but the excitement was short-lived. Overall, when compared with the entire C class, that's all the racers regardless of age or size of bike, my performance was not that impressive. And almost immediately, the subject of moving up to the B class started popping up on social media, and rightly so. After all, I did open my big mouth and say this. Now, I can't speak for the rest of the guys, but as far as I'm concerned, I promise if I just win one damn C race, I will immediately move to the B class. Of course, I will not race another season in the C class, but I am truly not ready for B. I have only podiumed once in 3 years, and it's not like I'm dominating the class collecting podiums every year. And with this win, I picked up some valuable points on the season. And if I move, especially this late in the season, there's just about no chance for me to even make the top 10. The Patreon supporters for this channel are the life's blood of this channel, and without their support, I wouldn't be able to race. So I put it to them. They believe I deserve a chance to go for the championship. So with their blessing, I'm going to finish out the battle for the 2019 Arizona Off-Road State Championship alongside the men that I started it with. The 40C class is a great bunch of guys, and I want to thank them all. And as usual, I'd like to thank you all for coming and watching the videos, liking and subscribing, and buying the Joe Rockstar gear. Next season, I'll put on the yellow plates. And as always, thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time.